Hello guys, welcome to a weekly reading vlog. It has been forever since I've been able to do one of these, and while it's going to be a very hectic week, it's also an exciting week because we are doing a little readathon over on my Patreon, which is the Magical Menagerie, and it is Halloween trick-or-treat themed. It's called Trick or TBR-a-thon, and today is Sunday the 13th, and we're gonna start with kickoff sprints tonight. So I have quite the fun TBR planned, but we're gonna start with incidents around the house. We're starting sprints in just a couple of minutes, so I'm trying to give you guys an update now, but I am starting with Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman. I actually have the audio from Libby, and while I'm on sprints, I'm also going to be making friendship bracelets because my Taylor Swift tour date is 2 weeks from today. And right now I only have 17 bracelets made, so I'm starting to run out of vowels. So we're gonna do the best that we can, but I'm so excited both about reading, about making friendship bracelets, about hanging out with my patrons because I've had COVID and I haven't really gotten to hang out with them in a while. And I don't know, I'm just excited. So this is gonna be like a very busy week. I'm recovering from COVID, and today at like 3:30, I was hit with an overwhelming wave of exhaustion. So I went and laid down for like 3 hours, and I go back to work tomorrow after fall break, and I'm terrified. Tomorrow is parent-teacher conferences, which are from 10 to 6. My normal work day is from 7:30 to 3:30. So it's gonna be a long day tomorrow. And then at 6:30 tomorrow, I go to play rehearsal. So I'm gonna be sneaking in reading time where I can this week. I'm hoping to finish 3 books. Fingers crossed for me. But I'm just excited to like have some dedicated reading time and patron time again. So that's how we're starting the vlog this week. Welcome to my chaotic life as a reader, as an actor, as a content creator, as in everything else that I do in my free timer. Trying to get into the mood with all of my spooky shirts, and let's start reading. It's now about 10 o'clock, and I don't know if you could tell how tired I feel, but I had a really good time sprinting tonight, and I got 28% into Incidents Around the House. So let's talk about this book so far. We are in the perspective of sweet little Bella, who is a little child, and she talks and she thinks like a little child. She processes the world like a little child. The audiobook narrator is an adult speaking as if she is a child, so just know that up front. It can be a little bit jarring if you're not expecting it, but she has had this entity in her room for like as long as she can remember that is called Other Mommy. And at first, Other Mommy was kind of like any imaginary friend, I guess. But as she's gotten older, she started to say things and act in ways that scare Bella a little bit. And she doesn't really want her parents to know about Other Mommy, partially because I think that it would scare her parents, but also it's like one of those heavy things that kids carry because they don't want to upset their parents. Meanwhile, Bella's parents have their own sets of issues, and I feel like Bella doesn't know how to process them. Very adult issues, and sometimes they come into Bella's room at night when Bella's sleeping, and they kind of talk to her as if Bella is just a listening ear when they think that Bella's asleep, but Bella really is hearing all of this stuff that is really way too heavy for an adult to be sharing with a child. And I'm wondering if some of that is playing into these imaginations or delusions or whatever it is that Bella's having about Other Mommy. There's also been a party where all of Bella's parents' friends came over, and she was telling them about Other Mommy, and some of the adults got really scared. So it's a book about children processing things that I feel like are too big for children to process. There may be way more to it than that, but I definitely feel unsettled and creeped out, but not as creeped out as I thought I would be. There's still plenty of time for me to feel that way, I'm sure. While I was reading, I also did get to make some bracelets. Not very many. I made 5 tonight. I'm at 22 bracelets for the concert right now. So I made this pink and pearl one. I can do it with a broken heart. I made one for Willow, which is one of my favorite songs. Willow. I made 1, 2, 3 LGB. If you know about her tour, you know she has little chants that you sing between some of the songs, and in Delicate, there's a part where everybody chants 1, 2, 3, let's go. I'm not going to say the word because I don't curse on this channel, but you can figure out what B means. And then I made 2 just like Eras Tour bracelets. So it just says Eras Tour, and then it's got each little color of the different eras on it. And then I did this one also as an Eras Tour bracelet, but each little section is just all the different colors. So I'm at 22 bracelets, trying to get to 50. I would love to have more than that made, but I think 50 is realistic. At this point, I'm about to shower and get ready for bed because I go back to work tomorrow, and I am scared to death to go back to work tomorrow because I'm so tired. Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. I did not vlog at all yesterday on Monday because it was parent-teacher conferences all day. I was working with my team. Immediately after parent-teacher conferences, I turned around and had rehearsal. But I did come here to update you that somehow, I don't know how, I finished Incidents Around the House yesterday. When I got home from rehearsal, I just was listening to it while I got some stuff done around the house, and I ended up finishing it. And I am giving that book 4 stars. So Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman, 4 stars. I kind of told you the premise. We've got Bella, who is narrating the book. She's an 8-year-old child. She doesn't really have many friends, but she loves her family so very much. And there's also this other entity that lives in her closet/bedroom named Other Mommy, who is terrifying. You don't get like a full picture of what Other Mommy looks like, but you get little glimpses and slight descriptions that change, and so you're never quite sure what this entity is. But I think that the book as a whole is more of an exploration about innocence as a child and bearing too much as a child. Children, you know, living under the burden of adult secrets and dealing with adult problems when they're really too young to be shouldering the weight of some of these things. And the end of the book was terrifying and did not end the way that I thought it would. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really liked it. I did feel a little bit of the ending felt slightly convoluted, but as far as what the book was discussing and the message that it was portraying and the horror that it threw at you, I thought it did an excellent job. So somehow 2 days into my week-long readathon, and I am done with 1 book. And I will be starting The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden today. I'm not gonna lie, my expectations for this book are not high, and that is only because of my experience with Miss Frida McFadden in the past. However, it's a book of the month pick this month. It's #1 on the Amazon charts right now, and I am feeling the FOMO. But y'all, the tagline, I can't. Is he the man of your dreams or your worst nightmare? The boyfriend. Melodramatic much? Also, I feel like I look like a ghost today. I accidentally used foundation that was too light for me after already being sick, and I didn't put any bronzer or anything on today, and I just feel like a sheet. So I am on my planning block. I've already got my work done for the day, so I am going to try and get a couple of chapters of The Boyfriend under my belt before I have my students today. I am wearing my spooky shirt since it's the middle of October, and I'm wearing these cauldron earrings that my secret pal at school got me. They got me these earrings. I have the best secret pal, whoever you are. They also got me these cats dressed up as trick-or-treating ghosts, so I will probably wear those tomorrow. And in case you were wondering, I'm so very, very tired today. I've got a coffee and I have a Monster.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were.
There's not many things in this world that I legitimately hate, but slugs are one of them. And there's a character in this book named Slug, and as if that is not bad enough, the reason why his name is Slug, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, he was like 5 large Cokes, and then 6 large Cokes, 7 large Cokes, and 1 small Coke. Exactly! And said that he could just add the same things together and the order would have been much shorter, right? As we are introducing ourselves to algebra, we're going to be doing something called combining like terms today. And I want you to think about that in terms of okay, we could add all of our burgers together. We could add all of our drinks together. We could add all of our fries together. So we've got some vocabulary that goes along with algebraic expressions. And the first vocabulary word is going to be variable terms. It's been a busy day. I did get to read a little bit of The Boyfriend earlier, which I'll share about when I get home. I'm in a very weird transition period where I just picked up a quick dinner. I got coffee with my dad, who was in town very briefly. And then I'm waiting for the doors to open at rehearsal. So I'm sitting in the car studying my lines and my blocking before I go into rehearsal. A goose pooped on my car. I don't know my lines in Act 2 at all, and we're not allowed to have our scripts tonight, so I'm trying to cram them in my brain at the moment. It's Wednesday evening, and I've been a very, very sleepy girl today. So sleepy, in fact, that it is now 6 p.m. and I am going to get a coffee before rehearsal. I have not read anything today, but I did read 25% of The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden yesterday, which I still owe you guys an update of my initial thoughts and feelings and everything. But I obviously have rehearsal right now and we're doing Act 2, which means I have no time where I'm not on the stage tonight because almost everybody is on stage for the entirety of Act 2 with no breaks. So this evening, before I get my shower, before I go to bed, I will give you guys an update. Some other random updates. I have tried to wear a trial pair. Oh, whoa, what are words? I have tried to wear a trial pair of contacts all week this week, and they just don't feel good. And I'm I love my glasses, but there's a certain impairment I feel sometimes when I have glasses on as far as acting goes. And then I have my big trips coming up soon. I have the Taylor Swift concert coming up soon. And I just want my eyes to feel free, like they can breathe. And right now I feel like they can't. So I called my eye doctor this morning and they're supposed to be getting me a different set of trial contacts to try out because I'd really like to be able to see freely. But I do feel very tired today. After school, I stayed for a wedding shower for my partner teacher from last year, which was just lovely. We had really good cupcakes and she's just real sweet. And then I came home intending to take a nap and I didn't take a nap. I stared at the ceiling and let my anxiety thoughts run wild. But let's go be somebody else for a few hours. And most importantly, let's get a coffee. And it's not even 60 degrees, so I'm gonna get a hot coffee, which I never do.
I love that dress, always have.
This is the first time I've worn it.
Hello from my classroom. We're at a different angle today. And I know I said I was gonna get on last night and talk to you about The Boyfriend, but let me tell you about rehearsal last night. It was a frustrating night, and then it was a scary night, and oof. So we ran Act 2, and I'm the kind of person that if I'm given a deadline, I'm going to stick to the deadline. And so last night's deadline was be off book, meaning you can't have your script in your hand. You need to know your lines. And it's really hard to get through a rehearsal when you're supposed to be off book, when a third of you don't know your lines. And so that was just getting frustrating. But then there's 2 stories to our set because it's this really nice house. And so obviously there's a second floor and it's kind of an open concept room. So you can see up to the landing of the second floor. And one of my castmates has to come out of one of the second floor doors halfway through Act 2. And so he was taking a break because he wasn't needed on stage. And instead of coming on stage, going up the stairs and going behind the door to get ready for his scene, he went up the ladder that was connected to the back of the set. So you couldn't see him going up the stairs. And we're in the middle of, going through our lines and stuff, and we hear a crash. He was climbing up the ladder slipped out from under him as he was stepping from the ladder to the platform, and he fell 2 stories, and that was terrifying. Thankfully, he texted us this morning saying that he's sore, but he's okay. But we ended up calling rehearsal early, and then I just went home and showered and got into bed. I was so tired, and then Zelda wanted to keep me up all night. But like I said, we got a text from him this morning, and he said he's good. So crossing my fingers that he's really good. But it's now Thursday morning. I stopped at 7 Brew. It has been a very heavy coffee week, if you can't tell. But I'm now 30% through The Boyfriend. I'm just about at page 100. So let's talk about it. I have DNF'd The Teacher. I've read The Housemaid, and I've read Never Lie. And so now this is my 4th try of a Frida McFadden book. And I'm gonna say two things that sound contradictory, but just listen for a second. I think this is her worst written book. I don't feel like it is well written at all. I feel like it was written very fast and did not really go through any like editing rounds, but it's also the most bingeable book I've read by her so far. So if you can put aside the fact that there is basically no like literary merit to this book, I'm having a good time. This book follows two timelines, and in one timeline we're following the main character of Sydney, who is living in New York, and she's kind of going through like the online dating scene, and she's pretty frustrated with it, but she doesn't really know how to meet people aside from online dating. The book opens with her going on a bad date with just like this really icky guy, and he is not treating her very well at the end of the date. She really wants to just get home and leave this guy behind, and some boundaries are crossed by this man out on the street, and she is rescued by this other man. I mean, she really like does the rescuing of herself. She gives him a good kick in the you-know-where. But this other guy definitely came out and kind of was there for this whole confrontation. And she goes home and she can't really stop thinking about this mystery guy who stepped out and kind of saved the day. In the other timeline, it's in the past, and that's really all we know. We're following two characters named Tom and Daisy, but we're given the perspective of Tom, and he's in high school, and he is kind of like obsessed with this girl named Daisy. He really wants to date her, but he also lets us into his thought patterns, and he talks a lot about how easy it would be to, stab an artery and kill a person. He hates his dad. This girl that he's in love with / kind of obsessed with, he will say like the sweetest things about her, and then a second later he's like, and I noticed the pulse throbbing in her neck, and I wondered how easy it would be to stop that pulse. Just real weird things like that. So you kind of get the idea that he's not all right in the head, and that somehow these two stories might be tied together with Sydney and Tom and Daisy. In Sydney's point of view, something that crazy just happened. There has been a murder in an apartment building, which is like a huge fear of mine. This book also takes place in New York, where I'm going in just a couple weeks, so I'm trying to like visualize it. But that's where I am. Things are getting a little twisty. They're getting a little turny. I hate being in Tom's head. I like being in Sydney's point of view, but I definitely am appreciating the dual timelines because it keeps the book interesting and fresh, and like I'm not really getting bored, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to read at work today. I just wrapped up everything on my planning block, and this block is about over, and we're about to do a whole bunch of combining like terms in 7th grade math today, so that'll be a great time. I'm gonna sit here and drink the rest of my coffee. Oh, I can show you what my secret pal got me this week. How cute is the bag that they decorated? And my secret pal got me this super cute pack of all of these fall socks. So I cannot wait to cozy up and wear these. There's like leaves, a coffee cup, a pumpkin, and a little squirrel. So I love anything cozy. I love anything fall. So secret pal, if you happen to be watching this, you did a good job. I also dressed up my frog and toad shirt today. So I'm wearing these like really comfy pants and my jean jacket with my frog and toad shirt. Happy Thursday, guys. The boyfriend this morning. I didn't really get on here and vlog at all yesterday, other than maybe some b-roll clips at the theater, because I was doing a little 24-hour readathon all-day sprints things over on Patreon, and I just wanted that to be where my focus was. But it was the best day of reading I've had in a really long time. I started at 40% of the boyfriend, and I finished the book yesterday. I also watched the Eras Tour live stream from Miami Night 2 last night, and I just had like a really good, relaxing day as soon as I got home from the theater. By the time I was ready to fall asleep, I was ready to fall asleep. I was struggling so hard to keep my eyes open. But guys, I'm still gonna like stand by what I said about Frida McFadden. Like, the writing in this book is nothing to write home about. However, I had so many predictions and wheels turning in my head as I read this book, and none of them were right this time. I got to a point in the book where like my jaw literally unhinged itself and hit the floor. I was watching Faith's reading things this morning, and she was reading the book on a camping trip, and she filmed herself reading the part of the book that I'm talking about, and I was like, same girl, because despite the fact that like none of the dialogue felt like real dialogue in this book, none of the people acted like real people. However, when she writes a twist, she gets you. She just like, she sinks her claws and her teeth into you, and she gets you. So I ended up giving this, I think, a 3.5, which is higher than the last Freedom McFadden book I read. I give it a 2.5. So she's slowly working her way up again. I may even pick up the second Housemaid book, but nobody is as surprised as me by the twist and by the fact that, like, overall, I'd say that I liked this book. What the heck? As far as the rest of the week, I did not read all of my books this week. I finished Incidents Around the House, which I gave a 4, and I finished The Boyfriend, which I gave a 3.5. I did not finish The Third Gilmore Girl, and that's okay. I'm so impressed with myself that I read 2 books during this busy, insane week. Like, I had rehearsal every night till 9:30, and I still managed to finish 2 books. Wow. So I still have The Third Gilmore Girl to listen to as I'm driving, as I'm running errands, as I'm getting stuff done around the house, and I'm glad to have that book to listen to right now. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and close out the vlog right here. If you watched all the way to the end this week, why don't you just leave me any kind of bookish emoji? I'm just in a like bookish reading mood today, and I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye guys.